Welcome back to Freedominhours. Andy here, really excited to have you back with us today. So today we're going to look at whether Bitcoin could go to zero. So the question is, do we think Bitcoin could go to zero? So there's two answers about this. Yes, and probably not. So we're going to explore that now in the latest episode from Freedom in Hours. So Bitcoin trading at around $40,000 US. It's a big call to turn around and say that Bitcoin could go to zero. But looking at the cryptocurrency and looking at other cryptocurrencies, there is a big risk that could happen in future. In this episode, we're going to look at why there's a risk and what you guys can do to help counter it. So by starting, let's look at a bit more about Bitcoin. So we did a couple of other episodes on it, why Bitcoin's a bad investment and why we believe Bitcoin is a con. We had a lot of questions and comments coming back from viewers regards to those videos. A lot of both sides. It appears people either believe that Bitcoin is overvalued or people believe, similar to what I do, that's a con or a scam. But what I found with a lot of these videos is a lot of people were trying to market the services of someone else, which to me shows why it's such a big bull market. Because everyone's out there trying to give a message of you should buy, you should use this broker. And it's classic signs of a bubble market. But going more specifically back into why we think Bitcoin could go to zero. Okay, so there's a couple of things to look at. Now, could Bitcoin go to zero? Well, theoretically, yes. The reason being is there's no assets to back it up. There's no government that backs it up. There's nothing that actually stops it from doing that. So that's the first big concern. The second concern is that as new cryptocurrencies come out, or as the technology changes, there may be better digital currencies that come out to replace it, or digital currencies that are more efficient. See, Bitcoin is made up of computer code, but also other cryptocurrencies can come out and be part of that. So for example, Ethereum got created as computer code. Now, as the blockchain technology develops and it grows, we may find that the Bitcoin technology is not efficient. It's not something people want to use, and it may be replaced in future. So that's number one. That's a bit of a concern. Secondly is around government regulation. So at the moment, Bitcoin's had a very light touch regulation from the government, but that could change in future. The reason being is that the government's looking at legislating more about Bitcoin and tracking where people are. Now, at the moment with Bitcoin, you do actually need to provide a lot of ID before you can purchase it. This helps stop money laundering and things like that. But they're looking at possibly also making it more regulated. What's the impacts of more regulation? Well, of course, it means that it's going to be harder for people might stop using Bitcoin for the reason they're using it at the moment. It might fall out of favor. So they're two big risks on the downside. My other concern with Bitcoin as well is if you look at the chart, which you can see on the graph I've got here, the price does move very abruptly, very quickly. Sometimes it can move by 25, 30% in a day. A couple of years ago, it moved down around 80% from its previous peak. So it has shown a lot of volatility, and this is reflecting the fact that it's very hard to value the Bitcoin price. How can you value something that's got no asset backing in it or no actual thing supporting it? So it's a big concern. And a lot of my viewers have said to me, Andrew, the blockchain technology is important. Well, we're not investing in blockchain now. We're investing in a digital currency. And that also supports what we spoke about previously in regards to Bitcoin, that you're not actually buying the technology. You're not actually buying the asset. You're buying the digital code that comes with the currency. Now, yes, Bitcoin has a lot of usefulness. I won't disagree. It allows you to be able to transfer and send funds globally. You can use it for payments. You can use it to transfer money. It's a good way of you having another way to use, to transact. I wouldn't say use money. But that's where it comes into play because it's not an asset as such, it's a means of trade. So will Bitcoin go to zero? More than likely not. I think there's a lot of support people to buy Bitcoin at lower levels. It could go to zero, but I doubt it will very much. Is it worth what it's worth now? $40,000. Actually, I think it's dropped quite a bit since I did my previous videos. I think it's down about 25%, which doesn't surprise me. But do I think it'll go to zero? More than likely not. I read that there's a multimillionaire that has orders placed at 1 cent for every Bitcoin that's available that he'd buy up. So, it wouldn't cost him much to do that. I think there's a place for cryptocurrency technologies. I just don't think we should be investing them or using them as a vehicle to make money or vehicle to create assets. I know at the moment that things do seem a lot more overvalued in the investment market, both across properties, shares, companies, and that's because the government has invested a lot of money into the economy through printing it. And I do get what viewers have said. They're saying that fiat money is being printed, it's being deflated. Yes, that's a major issue, but I don't think that's an issue why you should be investing in Bitcoin. Your investment strategy should be a mixed strategy across many different asset classes, coming from a mixture of shares, stocks, mutual funds, real estate, commercial property, business investments, and even a small amount can be in cryptocurrency. But just because large fund managers have purchased cryptocurrency, that doesn't mean it's a good investment. Fund managers have lost money before, they will lose money again, and if you think about it, they're acting on behalf of what the companies want them to do. So it's not your money, it's their money, not your money. I should get that wrong way around. The money they're using is not their own money, so they can go and use it how they want to see fit. And that's a concern. If they lose it, what's the implications for them? They lose a small bonus. But if you're sitting there working your whole life, trying to earn income, and you're putting a good portion of your money into Bitcoin, there's a big risk. So will Bitcoin go to zero? Not likely, but yes, it could. Will Bitcoin fall further? Absolutely. I've heard reports of Bitcoin going to $140,000, $300,000. It's just madness, and it's just silly. And it reflects people that, people saying that, number one, have actually earned money themselves, where they get the money from. And again, we've had comments from people saying, I earned money being a Bitcoin millionaire. Again, people say things without providing evidence a lot of the time. So, I don't believe it. So to summarize, we've done a number of different videos about Bitcoin now. As I said, Bitcoin's a bad investment. Why Bitcoin is a con. Again, our advice to our viewers and our readers is to stay away from Bitcoin. Only invest as much as you're happy to lose. I wouldn't invest any more than 5% of what you have or your income. Probably 1% max. Depends how aggressive you are, but I'd really stay out of it. It's not an investment proposition. You're not purchasing the blockchain technology. You're purchasing the code that sits over the blockchain. It's not valued at all. Nobody knows much about it. It's not like gold that's been used to trade for thousands of years. It's got a long history of doing it. It's been a store of wealth for generation upon generation. Bitcoin is new. It's computer code. We don't know what it's worth, and it could go to zero. So anyway, make sure you keep watching our videos and also our blogs and podcasts with Freedom Hours. Really happy to have you with us. It's all about making sure that you have the right financial intelligence. And with anything you do with this, make sure you go out there and do your own research. Go and find out what other people are doing. But make sure it's not research that's closed questions. For example, if you type in why will Bitcoin go up into Google, you'll get all the reasons why Bitcoin will go up, and probably other reasons why it will go down. I hope with this video we've made quite a balanced approach to Bitcoin, and this also ends the series that we've done about Bitcoin. So let me know in the comments below if you think Bitcoin go down to zero or where you think it could end up. I see immediate downside with Bitcoin, and it really does concern me. So anyway, thanks for joining us here again for another Freedom in Hours episode.